Welcome to a brand new episode of State of the City. I'm here with a good friend of mine. He's not as cute as Kara, but, you know, John Tabacco, Newsmax, Wise Guys. What else, man? What else do you do out there?
I do a lot of things, but put a lot of my energy into New York, like you do.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right. That's right.
Aside from trying to tell the truth on TV and fight for justice in our great city.
That's right.
I spent a lot of time with you.
That's right. That's right. We're sitting here on a lovely Sunday afternoon, about to go enjoy a barbecue with our good friend Mayor Giuliani, right?
Ooh, yeah, I have Rudy on my show this week.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Allegedly co-conspirator number one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so listen. Speaking of justice, like you said, I'm driving home from work Friday. My friend calls me up. He's a firefighter in Union Square.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, there's a riot in progress. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought he was kidding. So I turn on the police scanner, pulling home. I hear cops screaming for their life. Screaming, begging for reinforcements. Come, please send everyone, all available law enforcement, whatever. So I drive there. It was hard to get there. I get there. I get there. There's 2,000 kids. I don't even not kids, maybe like 18, 19-year-olds, throwing construction equipment at the NYPD, throwing rocks at them, this and that and the other thing. I mean, John, what the fuck is going on in our city, John?
I don't know. I guess this was about some social
Influencer,
media
yeah.
influencer.
Yeah.
He's giving away PlayStations and got out of hand. I'm proud to say it. A lot of people, they hide about this stuff, but I'm the proud son of a cop. My father was NYPD for 20 years.
Right.
I back the blue any chance I can get. I said this a few years ago, Rego. I don't know if you remember, but maybe about 4 or 5 years ago in New York City, the hoodlums came up with this new thing where they were pouring water on the cops' heads.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I remember that.
They were pouring water on them.
Yeah.
And then they were throwing buckets of water at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the NYPD under de Blasio came out and said, well, if they're not touching you, they're not really doing anything.
Right,
so they let them throw water on them. Then they would throw the water bottles at them, right? And then one thing led to another where the respect of the NYPD was allowed to be deteriorated under de Blasio.
Got that right.
And now you got, like you said, 18, 19-year-old kids thinking it's okay that they could throw stuff at cops, throw rocks at them, pelt them, because they know as long as they don't have a weapon on them, with the new cashless bail system, they're going to get locked up for 15 minutes. The cop will be sitting there doing paperwork for 6 hours, and the cop don't even want the collar.
It's true. I mean,
they don't want the collar, so they're just sitting there taking a beating.
The influencer only got misdemeanors.
Yeah.
That's it. And he literally, a 2,000 person riot was starting. It was about, when I got there, John, I thought I was in, if I'd never been in a war, but I could just imagine what like Afghanistan would be like. I'm talking like people jumping on cars. I saw people robbing passengers in Ubers that were stuck in traffic.
Oh, they were going in the Uber.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Oh,
robbing
yeah.
people in Ubers, trying to take their stuff, jumping on Uber's cars, jumping on MTA buses, jumping on police cars.
Insane. I was over at Newsmax, and I was sitting in the green room, and I said, what the heck is going on? Then it was on all the channels.
Right, right.
God almighty. First of all, I don't know much about video games, Rego, but there's a PlayStation, like how much is
PlayStation 5 and Xbox One, they're like a little, they're still hard to get, even though they came out like 2-3 years ago, whatever, but they're still hard to come by. So this guy, I don't even know his name, he goes on Twitch. You know what Twitch is, right?
Yeah.
It's like a streaming service or whatever. I guess he plays video games. I don't know what he does. But he said, I'm going to be at Union Square. At this time, I'm giving out free gift cards, free PlayStation 5s, whatever. The cops knew about it. They were there just to, I saw the video. They were just there relaxing. And all of a sudden, what started it was the guy ran out of PS5s and 2 kids started just fighting. So, NYPD just tried to step in. They weren't going to arrest anybody. They were just trying to mitigate. And then they throw in this and that, blah, blah, blah.
But how much is a PlayStation?
400, maybe 500. Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
And do you know how many was he supposed to give away?
I don't know. I'm not sure. And he's giving away gift cards as well.
I feel like, if somebody was saying there was like 1,000 police officers responded.
After the fact.
Yeah, I'm saying they were responding.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I feel like just the normal thing to do would be say, like, find the guy. for the damages,
Right.
and all the police resources that had to be used.
So the PR company, I think, is actually in talks with the NYPD that I think they're taking full responsibility and they're trying to work something out. Actually, I think that's what they're trying to.
Well,
I think that's what they're trying to do.
It's two different things. This crazy stunt. All right, it's a stunt.
Yeah.
But it turns into
A riot.
A riot because people know right now in New York City that it's a lawless town, and that's not a knock on the cops.
No.
The cops are the ones who are handcuffed right now. We got to be handcuffing criminals,
Yeah.
and we're taking all the tools away from the cops at the same time. So even when they show up with 1,000 cops, what can they do? They don't carry the nightstick anymore, right? And my father was a cop. I remember he had
the baton. The retractable baton.
My father used to have this long
wooden stick. So the auxiliary cops still have that.
It was a hammer. It was a real wood stick.
No, but now they got the retractable batons, the metal batons.
Yeah.
So,
and I know,
I saw them.
Urban legend is, they used the walkie-talkie pretty creatively also sometimes.
I don't know anything about that.
That's what I
don't know anything about that. But all I know is that this hate started with the NYPD pretty much when George Floyd was, senselessly murdered, whatever. But politicians just blamed all police departments for George Floyd's murder. Like, I don't know. I was telling Kara last week that people don't know that the NYPD is one of the most diverse police departments in the world when it comes to ethnicity. You have every single walk of life being a New York City police officer. So I don't know why these people think New York City police officers are white supremacists and white like what?
Yeah.
What? What is that, John? No,
insane.
Seriously.
Two things. This may sound like a weird term, but the NYPD is a majority of minorities.
Correct.
So 53% of the NYPD are minority officers.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So we have more people of color and different faiths and religions, and we have more of them than Caucasian white supremacists like us. Red hat wearing, God fearing men. They're the enemy.
Yeah,
we're the domestic terrorists now. Right? Go.
That's right.
But the funny thing, I'll give you a funny story. During the lockdowns, Scott LeBedo,
of course,
famous artist, the guy who did the pizza protest, give me pizza,
Scott
give
very
me
well.
death, right?
Very well.
He's my buddy for years, and we've done a lot of political activism together and everything else. And during the lockdowns, we got the permit, and we had a rally right in front of City Hall, right in front of the Blasio's office, right? With the street cops were there and everything, right?
Oh, I remember.
And stage,
big thing.
Yeah. Big.
I remember that. That's right.
And there's all cops lined up on our side to make sure, and there's like these jerk off Antifa wannabes. They wear masks and hats
or whatever.
You can't see their face. Yeah. First of all, if you're proud of what you're doing, you're out there protesting. You should be proud to show your face.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm up there sticking up for the cops, sticking up for people who don't want to get vaccinated, sticking up for firemen who, trying to just spread the word that this is bullshit.
Right.
And the cops are there. And I'm looking at the cops. I see a black guy, two Spanish guys. I see a little Asian lady. Cops, right? And across the street, these wannabe Antifa mutts or whatever they are, right?
Yeah.
They're all white kids.
Yeah.
They're all skinny white liberals, right?
Yeah, of course.
Screaming at the cops, "You're racist."
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying, they're all minorities. You white guys are screaming at Asians and blacks and Spanish people that they're racists. And you're the racist.
Liberalism, John, is if you put on that badge or that blue uniform, you're automatically a white supremacist. Doesn't matter if you're black, Asian, doesn't make a difference. You're a white supremacist if you're a police officer. Doesn't matter your ethnicity. That's how it is.
It's insane. And then, also recently, Karen and I, for my show Wise Guys on Newsmax, we go out and I like to interview regular people. Not just have these bullshit talking heads all the time. Right. And we do man on the street stuff. And, sometimes we get into rallies and, sometimes it gets a little hairy out there, especially the liberals and progressives. They see the Newsmax mic flag, they start screaming, Newsmax!
Well, last week we were here, how many people did we ask to talk? And they didn't want to talk to you. And it was about just the economy. It wasn't even anything, controversial, right? Fugazi-nomics.
Yeah, Fugazi.
Fugazi-nomics,
that was good. But, we went to another rally, so, with Pride Month. In June, right? June, we had a whole month of Pride.
Right,
now,
of course.
if you watch Wise Guys, right in the beginning of my show, you see a friend of mine. He's waving the rainbow flag. He's a Republican, but he's gay. Okay, fine.
Talking about Brand Straka?
No, another guy.
Oh.
But it's in the beginning of my show every week because I want people to know I don't care what you are. You want to be gay? Be gay. You're just don't push this shit agenda on the kids. That's where I draw the line.
Right? I agree with you 100%.
So I always say my line is that Wise Guys, we're flying the rainbow flag at all times. Like, I'm good with it. You be what you want to be. I don't give a shit, right?
Right, I agree.
But it does annoy me a little bit that they try to take away Columbus Day as an Italian, right? Mm-hmm. They want to make it an Indigenous Peoples Day, okay? And, for whatever it's worth, Christopher Columbus found the joint. You know what I mean? Like, give him a day. So you got a whole month for Pride. You got Black History Month.
What about Veterans Day? Month. Only 1 day for
you
veterans.
You got 1 day for vets. They're trying to cut us to 0 days for Columbus for us, poor lowly Italian Americans.
I personally think we should have a whole month because we built this city. Did we not?
Well,
did we not?
After a certain point, but I was just having this debate with a sane person I know who's a minority, and he's a Democrat, right?
Oh wow, that's a rarity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
sane Democrats is a rare thing.
Yeah.
But I was saying, a lot of people don't notice. You probably noticed, but at one point in New York City, I'm Italian. I'm half Italian, half Irish. Okay, I got 2 Irish grandmas. I got 2 Italian grandpas. Okay, so I'm a 50-50 mixed mutt. And I'm proud of both my heritages.
Yeah.
But back in the 30s and 40s, if you got a city contract in New York City to do job like road paving or sidewalks, in the contract it said you will stipulate that you will not hire any Italians.
Of course.
No, it's in the contract.
Yes, of course.
Like, Regu, you want this contract to pave the street?
Can't have it.
You can have it. But just remember this, you can't hire no guineas, okay? So it was actually New York City contract law said no Italians.
Right.
Okay? And, because we were talking about reparations and, whatever,
Me and Kara talked about that last week a lot.
Many people don't know this either, and this isn't taken away from anyone else's pain or suffering or anything else, but you hear about lynchings all the time, right?
I was literally just going to say that. I already know it.
The last public lynching in America, and the biggest, 11 Sicilians, was in Louisiana.
Who weren't even tried yet. Right. They were just assumed.
Someone said that they did something.
They killed a sheriff or something like
that. And they were not even put on trial.
It was actually 14.
It was 14?
It was 14 Italians lynched. Yeah.
I thought it was 11.
No, it was 14. 14.
So it was a mass lynching.
The biggest public lynching in history.
And, and they never, these people were not even tried. Right?
No, they were just accused.
So there was a time in this country where you could prohibit Italians from working.
Right.
And you could hang them in the street for public viewing for everyone. It was amusement. So, I think if they take away Columbus Day from us, Regu, we gotta revolt as Italians. We gotta fight.
If you're doing a protest or an event, I'll be there. You know that. You know that because I stand up for my heritage.
I've been talking to Roger Stone.
Yeah.
And he's one of my mentors, good friend of mine, and my buddy Mike Crispy.
I know Mike Crispy. I met him a couple times. Yeah.
And there used to be an organization called the Italian American Defense League. Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Joe Colombo.
Yeah.
I remember, of course. Yeah, I remember. They had a rally in Columbus Circle.
Me, Roger, Crispy, and a few others are thinking about reorganizing the Italian American Defense League. Because, you know what? Like, I feel like we got all the opportunity we want in America. Our parents taught us to work hard.
Right.
Get up every day, stand up, thank God you're here, and go out and work. Hustle, roll up your sleeves, dig a hole, order, deliver Chinese food, whatever you got to do to make a few bucks, right?
That's right.
So we have every opportunity.
Right.
But if they're going to start, and I live in Staten Island, the most Italian-American congressional district in the country.
Facts.
Okay?
Factual.
And if they're going to start attacking Italians, then I think, even though the original Italian-American Defense League was started by mobsters.
Doesn't matter. They're still Italian.
But the goal was, hey, like, we can't be getting abused like this.
100%.
And we don't have an Al Sharpton.
No, we don't.
I call him Al Slim Shady Sharpton, right? He's the ever-shrinking man Right? His body's getting smaller and smaller. His head's getting bigger and bigger, right?
Crazy, yeah.
But we don't have that. Italians don't have a guy who goes out there and says, you know, Al Sharpton, if there's any hint of racism anywhere in the country, he's there in 24 hours holding a protest.
But no one's there
to
for
shake
us.
down the corporation.
Right.
We don't.
Right.
Why? Because you said it before. You said Italians built the city. You know, there was a time in New York City, if you go out in some of the outer boroughs, you see, like in some neighborhoods, on the end of the block, you'll see these brick columns. Like, you know what I mean? Like an old street.
Yeah.
Right? Like, sometimes you're like, why are they there, right? Yeah. And there was a time where, when they started letting Italians work, they had these work fair programs. And the city was getting all the Italians, bricklayers, and they were doing the cobblestones in the street, and they were doing brickwork to make it. They were just giving them work to do to pay them, but not welfare.
Right.
Not giving them money to stay home.
Right.
So go down that neighborhood over there and make 2 beautiful brick columns on the corner of every block.
This country would be a better place with more work and less welfare. I mean, 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
And Democrats started the welfare system. Let's put that out there.
I hate to make it all about Italians, but I mean, you know, we're underrepresented. Okay, if you ask me, there's nobody out there leading the rallies because most of us grew up the same way.
Right.
We're at work.
Right.
We got things to do.
Yeah. We're not.
We don't have time in the middle of the day to go throw rocks at cops.
That's right.
We're at work.
That's right.
You know, I don't dig holes or anything, but I have. You know.
Yeah. The point is, you would if you had.
I've done it all. You know,
would I. So would my brother and my father, my mother. They were all through.
Grego, in 2012, I sold my company. Okay, me and my brothers built a company from scratch. It's called Locate Stock. It's a financial technology company. I sold it to a public company. Okay, and I had a 1-year non-compete. I got paid, you know, good. Thank God, I got paid a good sum of dough. But I could not work in that industry for 1 year. I had a non-competitive clause, which was fair, you know. And my brother runs contracting company, you know. And you know what I was doing? Because I did this when I was a kid. He had a lot of night work that he was doing in beauty salons. He was redoing beauty salons with his chain. And all the work had to be done at night.
Right.
So I was doing, now, mind you, I've been working on Wall Street my whole career.
Right.
I was kind of, you know, on the non-compete. So I was going in, I was making like $100 an hour, okay, to go do tile work from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I was going in every night.
So what?
Making $700-800 a night.
That's beautiful.
5 days a week. It's like this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying I was cutting tile with a wet saw.
This country lacks that drive. Yeah. My grandmother actually told me yesterday. I had breakfast with her. She said young white men are afraid to do manual labor now.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Without question. I was just we're going to Lawrence, and I stopped by you know. Speaking of Italian food, I stopped by my buddy Freddie's Gourmet. He's like a Salameria in Staten Island, you know. And I got a nice antipasto.
Yes. I alerted everyone. You got the antipasto.
So I got a nice antipasto.
Right.
And I was talking to my buddy Freddie, who owns the place. He's this guy. I mean, he's 60 years old. He's
working.
He's in the door. He's in the door, opening the door of the store every day at 6:30. He's in there till 6 o'clock at night. He's an animal. He's a bullet, right?
Love that.
He said, John, I can't find kids to work for $20 an hour.
When you're 18, that's a lot of money.
He said, I can't find kids to work. He said, the kids come in, you know, let's call it middle income white kids, good kids, you know. Yeah. He said, they either don't show up, or they show up and they
on the phone,
they don't know how to fucking mop, they don't know how to sweep. The guy's cleaning the counter like this with 2 fingers. I gotta throw him out of here.
No.
And not my kids.
No.
Okay? My daughter's a nurse. My other daughter's in college. She works in a boutique. She works at a camp. She does catering parties on the side. My son works in a Salameria. He works, you know, cutting cold cuts and stuff, right? But and I said this at the, not this year, but last year at the Back to Blue thing. I said, you know, parents need to take a little more responsibility and say, get out of bed.
Go to fucking work.
Go do something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, like, my son played high school baseball. He played baseball his whole career, and then his senior year, he said, "Dad, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be a starter on a team, and I don't know if I want to put in all this work to ride the pines and not get a lot of playing time. So I think I'm going to thank the coach for having me." And I said, "Well, all right. Well, you're not going to. I'm never going to force you to play sports. That's not the dad I am. But if you're not playing ball, then you're going to get a job."
Yeah.
And he says, "No, I want to get a job. I want to make some extra money. I just got my car, this, and that, and the other thing." So he started working as a busboy. And I was proud of him because at least I felt like he's got some good upbringing in him that he knows if I'm going to stop pursuing my athletic career, then I got to go get a job. And you busboy, you make whatever, $100 a night, $50 a night, And I just got him a job reffing. I just got him a job too, reffing flag football games for 5-year-olds.
That's great.
$30 a game.
I'll do Andy to make one. Listen, you got me hungry with that antipasta. Tell people, where can we watch Wise Guys?
You gotta go. All right. You gotta go to Newsmax. I mean, not just for Wise Guys, fastest growing cable network in America right now. From July of 22, as compared to right now, July of 2023, Newsmax ratings are up 88%. And Fox, who's going way left with Lachlan Murdoch and the Biden supporters over there, we're up 88% in the last year at Newsmax. Fox is down 26%. So we're making up ground on them. We're not there yet, but great lineup, great people. Saturday nights at 10, you tune into Wise Guys. We're on Sunday nights at 11:30. We're on Wednesday mornings at 6 a.m. So just put the DVR thing, Wise Guys, hit it. I don't even care if you watch. Just set the DVR. That's start. That's all I'm asking.
Wow. Thanks, everybody.